Man, some games that go off in there, like you maybe getting 6, 7 kills, maybe. But this one, I'm just running around doing dumb shit and looking at the game. We're live. Hey guys, it's RDX podcast. Thanks for joining us. Yes, we're doing one today for those that send me some messages on Xbox and stuff like that. We are definitely live today. It's just a completely different fucking panel because I guess the other members of the panel decided to run off and be the next Human Centipede or something like that. We got some cool guests though. We got some introductions. We got an awesome chat, guys. If you're here, hit the like button. Tell a buddy or two about the show. And Colt Eastwood, thanks for joining us on the special No One Showed Up Today edition of RDX.
Special, we're still hungover from Christmas, from having eggnog and opening up Fortnite V-Bucks.
Yep.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Yep. Thanks for joining us, man. We've also got Hargeet. Definitely got to have Hargeet on here. He's always got something awesome to bring to the table. How you been, bud?
I've been good. I've been finishing up Danganronpa. I finished it finally, the trilogy. It took probably like 200 plus hours. It was a ridiculous amount, but whatever, it's done. And I just about am finishing Scarlet Nexus, which is leaving Game Pass at the end of the month on the last mission. So
yeah, I know Blue One really liked that game, or I think it was him saying that. I've never jumped into Scarlet Nexus, but if you haven't, if you want to, now's your chance, definitely. We've also got Zalker87. Thanks for showing up, brother. How you been? Zalker died, people. His mic is no.
Yeah, just really glad to be here. I've just been, playing lots of RTS games and just love it.
What
happened?
Zucker, you there?
There he goes.
Hello?
Did you fall asleep?
Zucker!
What the fuck?
He fell
I
into
was
a
like
food coma?
talking. I was fucking talking the whole time.
Okay. All right, well, so
Fuck
what
this
RTS
thing.
games you been playing?
Everything. StarCraft, you name it, I've been playing them. No, I've been playing a lot of Fortnite, but glad to be here. You said nobody was here, and I was like, what the fuck? I'm here. Because Fonz is a piece of shit, and Tim left, and D-Batch, like, last minute was like, I gotta go, guys. I gotta go benchmark something. But, it's good times, good holidays, had a good Christmas, and now I'm here chilling with my friends, so I'm excited.
How many hours of Fortnite you put in this past month, Zucker?
Do you really? Crazy. I can look. Let me look. I will fucking look just to show how big of a piece of shit. Like I probably let me look. I got 145
this month.
No, I mean that's my lifetime, but let's just be real. A lot of that's this month.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
I'm just gonna be real. A lot of it's this month. I've already got the battle pass maxed out at 100. I'm at like 105.
Jeez.
I got like over 10 crown wins. I'm fucking having fun, man. It's a good game.
It is.
I have a good time,
got
man.
the RoboCop.
Hey,
And it looks good.
Good old Collingwood. What is that? I'm pronouncing that correctly, I think.
Yeah.
He says, congrats for the best Xbox podcast out there. Until the next Colt Eastwood XNC PNC podcast.
PNC podcast.
PlayStation newscast.
Starring Gazimus Maximus Aurelius.
Yep. And we've also got Risk It for the Biscuit. Wanted to get you on the show, man. And it's perfect timing. I know you got to bail in like an hour or so. But thanks for joining us.
Hey, yeah, man. Sucks I got to bail an hour and a half. That's just life. But yeah, thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it. I've been playing a lot of that Death's Door. I don't know if that's leaving Game Pass. I know Hargeet's got this thing where he tries to catch everything that's leaving Game Pass. But man, that game's awesome. I listened to everyone talking about how good it was, and I was like, yeah, I'll get to it. I booted it up. I had like, I don't know,
He's
like
doing the
5
D-Batch
minutes
thing right now from last week.
Like 5 minutes. In it.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, no, it's an intro. Then D-Batch went into like this whole tech thing on video cards.
I know.
It was funny. It was funny.
He was like, "Well, by the way, the fucking code on this thing." And we were like, "What the fuck, D-Batch?"
No,
you
like
did the same thing, Risk It.
So you're playing Death's Door and you're really enjoying it right now?
Yeah, man, I recommend it. If anyone hasn't played it, man, and you were like sleeping on it, like play that game. It is awesome.
I hear nothing but good things about it. I also hear nothing but good things about the Patreon sponsor tier, the guys that sponsor my channel. Kinkin66, No Hands Ninja. We got Galveston, Calypso. We've got Boba, Fierce Fuzz, Hargy, Sean Dasley. We've also got Reluctant Dodo, Dub Mobile, Ruben Almighty, Ricky Fallon, Fault Lines, Bad Boy Live. Shout out to you, man. I actually saw you on Xbox for the first time in like a fucking year. Hope you're doing good, man. Nano, Polymath. Reach out to Nano, man. Say hi. Nano's a great guy. Big help behind the scenes, too. Zordon, Costanza, KY Bob, Assassin Loop, Foreign Object, Teo, John Blue. We've also got Vegball, Suicide King, Tasteless Genie, Michael Bone, Gamer Cavill, All Mike, Dark Team, F, and Alfonso Hogan. You guys are awesome. And I want to say thanks. Also, you know what's probably not the most awesome thing ever, Colt Eastwood, is is something called the topic of the day. Something I just randomly thought of, saw some stuff online about, and was thinking, man, that's some pretty dumb shit. There's some. But first off, I hope everybody had a great Christmas, right? Got all the coal and shit you deserved. But there's also a lot of videos going around about kids getting Xboxes.
No.
A lot of them are fake. Some of them may be real. But, but they get an Xbox, and the first thing someone posts underneath it is, fuck you, Billy. Or the kid turns to the camera and says, I wish this was a PlayStation. It's one of those two things. I don't know if you've seen this going around, Cole.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's one where two, a 4 and 5 year old brothers are opening up a PS5 and they're like, I didn't want that. I wanted a PC. And Soccer's like, oh yeah.
I'm like my future child.
I'm your real dad.
And I'm thinking, what does a 5-year-old want with a PS5? They don't want a PS5. They don't want a console, but whatever. Yeah, I've been seeing it. It's everyone's been launching console war nukes all during Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Yeah.
You got to fire the ones left.
Wasn't one of them Gaz? I mean, didn't Gaz make a video on Christmas Day and shit?
Gaz made a video on Christmas and everyone's like, why don't you enjoy Christmas with your family? He's like, he doesn't celebrate Christmas.
He's like, I don't celebrate it, bitch. Fuck Santa.
It's like, there's not even snow over here.
Yeah.
RoboCop playing Metallica, by the way, on the screen.
Best emote in the fucking game, dude.
It's pretty cool.
The Masters of Puppets.
If you see me doing this in the corner of Fortnite, guys, run up and hold X. You can join in on the band, man.
It's legit.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But yeah, that's been something that's been going around. Launch what's left of the tactical nukes before they expire, like old milk. And sad people can't even enjoy a present they got without being told, hey, turn to the camera and say you wish this was PlayStation, or, being told to fuck off in the comments for getting an Xbox. It's still the mentality out there.
One of the most humbling ones I saw is this kid got a PS5 from his grandma, and he was like, no, why'd you do this? And everybody was like, and he's like, could you afford it? Is it okay? And he was legit crying, because he felt bad for his grandma, but she was like, it's okay. And you got it. And so that was the only one I was like, that was genuine.
Yeah.
Because the kid's afraid. He was like, oh
that's
my god, he wanted it.
That's a respectful,
but in the comment section, people didn't even finish the video. And they were like, see, he wanted an Xbox. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Oh,
I'm like, you fucking idiots. Look at the video.
Grandma paid, $2,000 over MSRP for that thing.
She's the scalper. What are you talking about?
Can you imagine grandma? Can you imagine grandma going? You still gonna get Call of Duty on it? Don't worry about that. Fuck Microsoft.
Don't worry about what they're saying. I just figured I would bring that up first and foremost. Zachary, if you want to grab these two, I get this next topic in order. But again, guys, if you're watching, we do appreciate it. Fresh after Christmas, let us know what you got. You get a PlayStation, you get an Xbox, because you get your hands on one, and hit the like button, let people know we're live. Thank you.
Yeah. So Hargy Chani, thanks again for putting this to me, man, on Discord. So we got Purple Haze 4564 says, hey panel, should Xbox do an exclusive deal with the devs who are making Black Myth Wukong? And also, what the hell up with Sony taking Final Fantasy away from Xbox gamers? I mean, this whole exclusive deal thing is becoming bigger and bigger because, yeah, Sony basically, Xbox called them out saying that it's Final Fantasy remake and the Final Fantasy coming out next year and Bloodborne
and
are never leaving.
There's more.
Well, yeah, there's more.
Topic. We're gonna cover that definitely fully in depth. I can't wait for that one. It's actually soon. But Wukong, should they? I don't know. Sony
We'll see
might,
what Xbox
before
does.
they do at this rate, right? So.
I mean, Xbox has gotten a couple, the Fat Shark developer with Dark Tide, a couple other people. It's back and forth, man. So who knows who they're going to go with. Then we got Drawn TJ. He says, hi, guys. Great panel dealer.
Thanks, Drawn TJ. Good to see you in the chat, buddy.
Yeah, man.
Did you know, Drawn TJ, that there are new reports that suggest Jim Ryan's a fuckface? Also, he's lying about his fears of Game Pass. Sony and Jim Ryan are basically faking it for this whole Activision lawsuit thing going on. So during an internal QA at PlayStation, not the police station, Jim Ryan downplays the service, according to a new report. This is on Windows Central. I don't know exactly the full details of the report itself, but if this is true, if Jim Ryan are behind the scenes to, employees at PlayStation downplaying this whole thing, saying Game Pass isn't, what I pretended it was to all of these people, that's embarrassing as hell for everything that's happening right now. I mean, Hargy, do you believe this report's real?
Yes.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I mean, like we've all been calling him Lion Ryan, right? One of the things that's going to happen is at some point he's going to have to tell the shareholders how dire the situation is, and how PlayStation's going to die, and Sony with it, because well, their profits are based on PlayStation, right? So it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. It's always been bullshit. They are doing just fine. They make billions in profit.
They're number one.
Whatever. So like the whole thing was always crap. Right? If they ever wanted to compete with Game Pass, it doesn't take much. They could do it immediately. They don't even have to put all their games in it. They could just put half their games day and date in freaking their subscription, and they would have a good competitor.
I still hear people say
it doesn't even need to be day and date, does it? It could be like you could do it 6 months out, and that would boost your
Which they've already done it with the multiplayer PC games, right? They've already basically said we're doing that stuff day and date on PC.
Well, they're gonna do day and date on PC, right, for those specific multiplayer games, but not in their
that's step
subscription
one.
service.
That's step one right there.
I think what Riskit said is step one, is just say like even all of our old games will be there. That's not even a guarantee. So you don't necessarily have all the Sony catalog if you subscribe to their service. Why? That's a simple thing to do. Just take your old games and put it in there. You just immediately get all these people who are coming new to your platform saying, cool, I can play all the PlayStation games. I'll just subscribe, right? What's wrong with that? Like
they're milking it. They're milking it. Real dry.
But the fact that they lied is totally obvious, right? So they certainly are making enough on their subscriptions. They have more subscribers. We already knew this, right? But yeah, the dire straits that they're putting out to the regulators is just hilarious, right?
It is.
So the end is nigh. We will not survive this. Like, come on,
Colt, we've heard this motherfucker lie about everything from Spider-Man Miles Morales built from the ground up for the PS5 to we believe in generations to now it's helped me. I don't know what to do. Like, what are your thoughts? I'm sure you believe this report's real because it's common sense that they aren't really that freaked out.
Actually, I think it is. I think it is true. I don't think it was. I think it's pretty much been reported as it really was an internal memo or internal conversation that Jim Ryan was having with the team. Like, my favorite part of it that nobody's talking about is he acts like they've sold 30 million consoles. And then the other part is he's acting like Game Pass has been around for 6 to 7 years when it's really only been around for 4 years in its current form.
Yeah, he's talking
Game
like
Pass
beta period and all that.
Yeah, like Game Pass launched in June of 2017, which would be a little over 5 years. But it didn't have a first-party exclusive in the service at launch until well into 2018. What was it? State of Decay or Sea of Thieves? I think it was Sea of Thieves was the first one that dropped in there.
Thieves, yep.
Yeah. So like he does like what? All right. I'm just going to cross the threshold, and pony's going to be a word I use from now on. All right. He did the typical pony because I can't stand that. He does the typical pony thing where he's like, "Oh, we sold 30 million consoles. Game Pass has been around 6 or 7 years." Where he just inflates and deflates both numbers to make their situation look better, all while showing the hypocrisy of, "Oh, we can't compete with Game Pass. It's so disruptive." So
yeah.
Oh man, this guy.
You're right. You're right. Keep going. Shit.
Yeah, he's just continually made. It's gotten to the point where everyone just anything that was dumb that was said from Sony or PlayStation, we all just throw Jim Ryan's face and put his quote there. Like he is like saying everything. I know we've all done this. I've done this because it's hilarious. But what do you always say, dealer? The head tells the snake where to move, right? Like this is exactly what.
I don't even say it like that. Whatever, something like that.
How do you say the snake in the pants moving with the wiggle in the dance or something? The saying you used, but yeah, Jim Ryan's just telling the rest of the body where to move.
It's true.
That's a fucking goddamn sound like Woody. There's a snake in my boots.
There's a snake in my boots. This is on top of them increasing the damn price of their consoles and their games. Yep. Like, I absolutely believe this is real, factual, whatever. Because it's something that we kind of knew they were bullshitting about. As Hargey's been talking about, it's common sense. Like PlayStation are number one. They are still number one, even if this goes through by a pretty wide margin. And of course they got a rebound on that because they were telling their stockholders essentially with their message to the regulators, "Oh, we're gonna die if Call of Duty leaves. Like we won't be here anymore."
I'm going to say something, and I know some people might not fucking agree with me. What he's saying about Game Pass and the consoles and all that, I think that he's saying that now because, the future's 2020, right, in vision. I think what's happening is every single person was saying that the PS5 is going to have far more competition, that it's not going to sell as much as the PS4 did, and it's selling more than the PS4. Mm-hmm. So I think he saw as Game Pass, like, this might be a threat, but the last 2 years, he's like, fuck that threat. We've sold more consoles than they've got subscribers in 6 years. That's a factual statement.
So you don't think he's actually? You just think he feels differently about it now.
I think he feels differently about it now.
Really?
I think the stakeholders feel differently about it now. I think at the beginning, I think they were scared. I think they were kind of like, we don't know what this is because it does change the way stuff is.
Come on.
No, I'm just fucking saying, bud. I don't think. I'm just saying. Hey, the shit that he said was fucking hilarious.
Quite a while ago. Like, I mean, this is.
I think it's Xbox fumbling. I don't think I don't think it's just that. I think that this year Game Pass did not grow like it should have this year at all.
Well, I think they expected it to grow about this much. I think because they had
because they had nothing come out. But I'm just saying that they need to. I think Xbox fumbled, and that's why he's talking the way he's talking. And until they start releasing shit, like we've said, where they're going to get more subscriptions, Jim Ryan can say whatever the fuck he wants because that's just what it is.
I want to get something from Hargate Risky, but I do gotta say, like, there's a reason that he's saying this on an internal, QA, not publicly. There's a reason that he's been caught lying 1,000 times before and bullshitting, even though he's the worst proponent of everything he's complained about. It's bullshit. Yeah, I don't think it's anything other than that. But I do, it's Salker's opinion. Let us know if you agree or not. Risk it real quick. What are your thoughts on this report?
Well, they got to do this to make a case, right? This is all about the FTC, the CMA, the EU. This is what it's for. But I find it funny. This is hilarious that the FTC's case just keeps falling apart. I'm sure the FTC called up Jim. We're like, what the fuck are you saying? Like they put a huge amount. The FTC has put a huge amount of emphasis on their ideology, which is we've got to protect developing markets. We've got to protect developing markets. And this just says to pretty much everyone in the public, the CMA, the EU, that, hey, Game Pass is not like taking over a developing market. We're not worried about it. It's not going to hurt us. We're selling consoles. So, yeah, I completely agree with Zorka. Like, I think they may have been worried about it. I think maybe a little bit still worried about it. But until Xbox starts releasing games, let's be honest, it's just, it has no punch to it. Game Pass, really. It's as soon as you start putting in those first party bangers like they did in 2021, then it's something to worry about. So maybe at the moment they're not worried about it, but I think once they start releasing games, things will change. So, well,
I got a question for the chat. Is Jimbo lying? Let us know. Click yes or no. I'm clicking yeah twice. Hargeet.
Yeah, so I would just counter with one thing. In the last month, Sony has put out statements to the CMA and I'm sure to the FTC, but publicly, at least for the CMA, saying, no, Game Pass is a big deal and it will kill us. So that's a nice story. Maybe Jim might have changed his mind, but Sony has not changed their mind because publicly to a regulator to a government, they've said no, PlayStation cannot survive Game Pass. So I don't know about that. I don't know if they've lost their nerve or whatever, but that's what they said within the last month.
Yeah.
So I saw it from a different angle because the one thing that I saw that Microsoft was saying to the FTC was that all these things that you're talking about being anti-competitive is what Sony is directly doing to Game Pass, preventing games from going on Game Pass, signing contracts where they don't go on Game Pass. And so Sony's countering that with like, why would we do that? You're not a competitor. We don't give a fuck. And then they put numbers in front of it. So it's all bullshit to me at the end of the day. I think both companies are going to lie through their fucking teeth to get the way that they want. And that includes Microsoft. I don't care. Like that's what they're both going to do because there's billions, tens of billions of dollars. Like, and we've talked about, Phil Spencer lying about stuff too and being like kind of wishy-washy on what they say. Every company is going to be doing some bullshit right now. And this is why the FTC suing is even more annoying, at least to me, because now it's just flooding the market with the same fucking topic, except even worse. Because it's going to have these lawyers saying shit that like we're going to all as gamers, logic's going to fly out the window. We're going to be sitting here shaking our head at both fucking companies. We're going to be like, what the fuck?
I mean, for one, like when it comes to calling Microsoft out on lying about this shit, I'm the king of this shit, okay? Because they have literally, like I said, people were saying they were going to fool the regulators or saying this because of the regulators. No, I've always said it. Like, they're not fooling nobody. That's why they're suing, because they didn't believe Microsoft, because Microsoft really were lying. That's why they had to offer a 3-year deal initially, according to Sony, and then now a 10-year deal. Why do you need a deal? There's a thousand easy reasons you could choose as to why. They're saying what they needed to say. But the thing is, though, they're saying it, and they're making their case. But Jim Ryan, something about the way this motherfucker operates, when he's literally sitting there crying on his hands and knees, the motherfucker leaves the room and gets up and walks off like he's skipping. It's just crazy. A flip of a switch.
I just chose it.
I don't know, man. I just I think it's interesting. That's all.
Why would he say this and think that it's not going to get out there? Because you better believe that Microsoft's lawyers are going to use this as ammo in the clip.
Mhm.
This is Jim Ryan himself saying that Game Pass is not an issue for Sony. So, and if that's been like one of their whole complaints is that like Game Pass is going to kill us if they get Call of Duty. And now he's sitting there saying like it's not an issue, man. If Microsoft lawyers would be rubbing their hands together right now.
I'm sure they are, and they need to use
no matter what
every bit of
anybody
this.
says.
Arm it.
No matter what anybody says, the Sony like Essential, whatever the fuck those tiers, like they actually have some pretty damn decent games in that subscription service.
Yeah, the
Like
extra
if you
has
go,
some pretty good games.
they have some pretty good games in there to the
Yeah,
point where
it's not
it's
bad.
like sneaky competitive, where you're like, if you just like actually add a little bit more or invest a little bit more, you're gonna have a pretty decent competitor to Game Pass.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's the funny part is that they're just doing it but saying other shit because they're not trying to concentrate on that part of it because Sony knows that they're going to invest in that anyways. So they're not trying to put it down. What they're trying to put down is just Call of Duty, and they're surrounding it around third party and publisher and how much of a monopoly Microsoft can be or what they've done in the past. And it's just going to be some fucking horseshit. And honestly, this whole thing it's just annoying, like, at the end of the day, because this has, like, basically put everything in gaming down to a halt. Like, almost the whole industry is waiting for this, like, domino to fall because people don't know where developers are going to go. People don't know what's going to happen to Call of Duty. People don't, like, it's just so much. Like, to me, the most quiet publishers have been Ubisoft and Microsoft. And they're just fucking chilling, haven't brought out shit, and are just keeping quiet.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, like, what are we doing here at the end of the day? And Sony's the loudest because they don't want this shit to go through, and it's just going to get fucking worse, man. By the time we hit April or May, we're going to be talking about, like, so Jim shot somebody and nobody cares. Like, it's just dumb, dude. Like, at some point, they're going to bring out some stuff when he was a kid. It's going to be dumb.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those times. I've never seen a time like this in gaming, really. I mean, no, we haven't in general when it comes to acquisition, but I'm just saying in terms of the aura of everything's happening, we're kind of just waiting for Xbox to get some stuff announced and to do some things, which we might not have to wait much longer. We'll talk about that later in the show, but we are all waiting for this damn deal to be done because we already know Jim's a liar. We already know Sony's number one, even if the deal went through by a pretty good margin. And we already know that Xbox will say and do what they need to do or have to do to try to make this go through. But they also need to do shit in the meantime because this is years that we'll be waiting. A year at the very least that we'll be waiting for this shit to be done now. It's a good time.
It's a long time. And everybody that was banking on, like Diablo being in Game Pass and all this other stuff and that's going to help Xbox's first party, that's out the window for next year. So, yes, as you're saying, Microsoft needs to do more. They're going to need to do a lot more now with that off the table.
Happy birthday to Shooter, by the way. I saw it in the chat. I had to say it.
Happy birthday.
And also, not to cut you off here, but there's 10% of people in the chat that I told you the audience for Sony guys. I told you it was fucking 10%. 10% of people don't think Jim Ryan's lying. And I know all of y'all are PlayStation fans, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got a few more seconds to
what
vote
did
on
I
that.
vote? What did I vote?
You
What do
voted
think?
yes.
Hey, how can you say he's not
totally
lying?
did.
He literally said one thing and then turned around and said a completely different thing. Like either he's lying or he's senile. Like
Some people have said a lot of things. Phil Spencer, one of them.
Will you get off my man? Get off Phil's. Get off. Leave my man alone, Zalker. Okay.
Release some games, bitch, and I won't say nothing.
I know. Shout out to Phil.
Shout out to Phil.
Yeah, shout out to Phil. We just make jokes. But
Zalker proudly represents those 10%.
Look,
I got you, fam.
Zalker gonna be in this. It's gonna be his time until some stuff happens with Xbox. All right, it's just we all go through things, right? And go through phases, so that's okay. But Zalker, catch us up with these, and then we can move forward. And big shout out to the chat, by the way. We already got almost 800 people watching live. Already, guys, hit the like button. Tell everybody you were live. RDX Podcast. Thank you for checking us out.
So we got Space Dovakin. He says, I love Toxic Cult. We all do, trust me. We got Eater. He's a new member.
You mean
Just
normal
joined.
cult?
Thanks, man. Yeah, that's just cool.
Look.
We got Nano Polymath, and he says Zalker's a fraud. Thanks, buddy. Jimbo's a proven liar. Lied since SSD, RDNA. Lied on prices. Lied in beliefs. Lied he's an actual gamer. Jim focused on small, mom-fed growth of console. Xbox focused on the bigger picture. 2023 is coming, baby.
Baby.
PUBG. Let's hope. I am a fraud though. We got Sir X-Men. He says it's sad when the CMA and the EU knows more about video games than the FTC shows you the intelligence some of the people that run this country facts.
Oh shit.
Damn, we stupid.
Hey, we also got Ham and 108 TV, Dragon TV in the chat. Shout out to you guys. Good.
We got Bifford Aldi. He says Sony can't even get their goddamn story straight. I mean,
that's just straight and to the point, Biff. Really going there.
Yeah, right on. We got Roshan Eppinger. I butchered that shit. Jim is backtracking now that the CMA and EU seem positive and FTC has no case. He wants to try to get those concessions Nintendo and Steam got. I mean, he's always had those concessions, and they went to them first. We got Mike. He says, Zalker is wrong. Microsoft is being sued. They cannot afford to lie, such exaggerate, while Sony can say whatever they want with no legal repercussions. Not sure that checks out.
They offered
Not
it. They
sure
offered it
that's
on
true.
PlayStation Plus as well, didn't they? Like I'm
They
pretty
did.
sure
Just-
there was a
just
rumor that
supposedly,
Xbox
supposedly,
was
yeah.
offering, Call of Duty on PlayStation Plus. I mean, that's more than they've offered anyone else. That would boost PS Plus. That would make him competitive.
Yeah. Black Mill, but MLD, by the way, he has a problem with the fact that Sony are basically caught lying and playing the victim publicly and behind the scenes saying, yeah, Game Pass ain't shit. You know, just raise your standards, buddy. You don't have to tolerate that.
Yeah, we got Reluctant Dodo.
I dropped
for the
my
last
PS5,
one.
by the way, Black MLD. I'm sorry. It fell.
It's not a drop when you spike
It hit the ground pretty hard.
Did you see that video of the guy that the delivery of his PS5? The guy dropped it.
Oh,
The postal guy dropped it from like a foot off the ground, and it goes thud. And he's like, it didn't work after that. I'm like, I wanted to say dealer dropped his off of like a 4-story building, and
Dude, it was legitimately like a 4 foot tall shelf. It fell off and hit. The plates exploded off the side, and this bitch still works.
And that's how you taught me to get the plates off.
Yeah, you got to quality. But yeah, was that the last one? Sorry.
Reluctant Dodo's the last one. He says, Merry Christmas, beautiful people, with a little rose at the end of it. That rose is for Hargeet.
Oh, wow.
Reluctant Dodo, we all ugly as fuck. Don't call us beautiful. No, thank you, buddy. Appreciate it, man. Again, we got to move forward here. Interesting topic, Jim Ryan frauding around, but unfortunately, it's nothing new. It is pretty common. But we also have some information on Redfall I wanted to cover. I don't know, again, who... I think his name's Okami Games.
Yeah.
He
Do we
does...
want to dealer go into the response to the FTC?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Go ahead.
Want to do that?
So explain that.
Yeah, so just following the process, right? So the FTC is suing to block. So that's a process, and essentially they sent what they think are the harms, and then Microsoft and Activision, the two parties, have to respond, and they did within the time frame. And their responses were pretty good, I guess. The Microsoft one was like it was strong, but not ridiculous. Like it was still conciliatory, and then it's just trying to point out here are all the issues you have. Activision, on the other hand, oh my god, they just basically said, "Fuck you, you fucking morons! What the fuck are you smoking?" in not so many words. It was fantastic. It basically just painted everything they said and said, you are so incompetent and stupid to actually even say it. And some of those words were actually used. Like,
Right,
you are incompetent. It was just so good.
So they responded. I mean, what is there any... They literally just called him incompetent. I mean, what is this?
I got an excerpt here if you want to hear it.
Go ahead.
One of the
Go
things
for
that
it, go for it.
They said, it says the FTC's disregard for these benefits to consumers and focus on supposed harms to Xbox's deep-pocketed competitors betrays a fundamental disconnect between the FTC's theories and the antitrust law's underlying purpose, which is to protect competition, not competitors. There's another bit, it's hilarious. Blinded by ideological skepticism of high-value technological deals, and by complaints from competitors, the FTC has not only lost sight of the realities of the intensely competitive gaming industry, but also the guiding principles of our nation's antitrust. They went on to call them desperate.
Yeah, Activision went hard, bro. They like sued them, and Activision came out with a shotgun and blew their fucking face off. They're just like, Microsoft was like, we're gonna be, we're gonna try to be nice. Activision's like, fuck that. Like, dude, I'm reading. I read the response to it. Activision don't give a fuck. Bobby Kotick was like, let's do this. So they're going hard, man. The
Fuck
Activision
that.
especially.
Hey, Hargy mentioned it a week or so ago, but think about if this doesn't go through. Yeah, I don't think that Call of Duty and PlayStation are going to be any better off, that's for sure. They're probably going to be better off if they go with Microsoft by the time Microsoft's done giving them everything but the sync, right? But
well, they got spare money.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, this Activision got to be pissed that they're trying to fuck this up.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Which is an interesting perspective.
You guys were talking about it, I think, last week or a couple of weeks ago, like how it is just business. And I think Zorka said, like, it's just business and they'll probably still jump in bed together. But after reading that response from Activision, I don't know, man. I think Activision would be pretty pissed if this doesn't go through. This is going to hurt them. And I think I've always maintained, I mean, Hargate's a smarter man than I, so you could probably tear this down and tell me if I'm wrong. But I think if it doesn't go through, this is going to severely hurt Activision. Their shares will drop like through the floor.
Yeah.
I think they're in danger of not only being sold off to a competitor that we don't want them being sold off to, but there's a distinct possibility that they might tear the company apart and start selling off IPs, studios, and sections of the company. And that's not. I don't think that's a good thing as a whole for Activision, obviously, as a company. I don't think that's a good thing for gaming at all either. If you're selling off those parts of the company and IPs of the company, they could be put out worse. You might not get IPs. People might just vault those IPs. This is not a good thing if it doesn't go through. But for Sony, I think Microsoft are going to take a pretty hard line. I think they're being nice now because there's still a possibility that they may come to the table. The FTC may see how ridiculous their argument is. I mean, literally every day something comes out that makes their argument seem stupid at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's still a possibility, and that's why Microsoft's still behaving the way it is. But Activision doesn't have to do that. And that response was absolute. I think I was giggling the entire way through reading it.
It's like we're in 11th grade again, but with lawyers. Yeah, now you got a bunch of lawyers starting up YouTube channels, like talking about this shit. It's funny. It's interesting. By the way, chat.
Do you have this Lena Khan tweet from the other day?
Shao Kahn?
Dealer?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, she's a much less successful version of Shao Kahn. But I don't know. She wants to prove something. That's clear. Also, chat. Listen, Zalker's allowed to feel how he wants. He's. You don't gotta be rude about. No, I'm just kidding. Shane G. I read his comment.
Oh, I just messaged him and asked if he needed a hug.
He'd be like, yeah.
I literally I said, you need a hug, buddy? Because he's getting mad. He's like, stop playing fucking dude, I'm fucking. he's getting all fucking mad in the corner.
Listen. It's plastic. And again,
it's plastic.
I don't know if anyone hasn't heard us criticize or be at least that way. Any one of us at any given time of the year could be going through this stupid shit. Then hey, I'm surprised you still watch it.
If anyone gets mad about criticizing a multi-billion trillion-dollar company, maybe you should get your priorities straight.
Billion trillion. That's like 27.
Billion trillion.
27 O's.
It's huge.
It's huge.
It's real big.
Fucking Dr. Evil pinky money, bitch.
Oh shit! Pulling out the pinky. Don't sniff that bitch. Hey, now
Xbox has no games. Yeah.
We got several of these chats again. If you want to catch us up on these, so we don't get too far behind. But again, let us know your thoughts, chat, because it is interesting. Microsoft did respond. I think they just think it's silly because they see it clear as day. They've been dealing with PlayStation for decades, and for some reason, these regulators don't see it.
They might go through mediation or something. Who knows? But yeah, I think that's still on the table. There's a lot of stuff that can happen in the next 6 months. So again, we'll see what happens, and hopefully in those 6 months, Xbox releases some games. All right, let's get to these chats. We got God's Hitman with a little puppy picture, which is great. What gets announced first, the cheaper Game Pass price or the family plan Game Pass? Thank you for doing a show. I hope everyone has an amazing 2023.
The family Game Pass.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too.
Good.
So then we got Nano. He says, understand FTC actions in dealing with big companies, but their change in direction to make companies hash it out rather than leaving it to the FTC to pay to sort it out has backfired in this case. Hatred for Microsoft blocked legal laws.
I think you skipped a bunch of them.
These are what I'm getting on. I don't know. I can't
Shooter.
see any
There are
more.
other ones?
Big
Did I
shout
miss
out to big shout out to. Oh, okay. And there's Udani's up here too. Damn. That's
I didn't
just
see
how
those.
Udani, shout out to you, man. He says ask Santa for games on Xbox. He pulled he pulled out Pawn Stars. Yeah. I don't know what this reference is, but he says best I can do is Callisto. Yeah. I mean, again,
Colt ratio. No, he says the best I can do is Colt ratioing Lena Khan.
oh my God. Did that actually
Colt,
happen?
Did you ratio Lena Khan?
Almost. I'm really close. And I mean, people were.
I'm really
Like, I
close.
counted them.
Hey, send it to me. Send it to us. We'll retweet it and help. Try to.
Yeah. I mean, I just tried to be nice instead of attacking her because a lot of people were attacking her. And I just said, would Activision Blizzard King employees be better off under Microsoft? Would consumers have more choice and affordability with these products under the Xbox platform? I just put those two questions, and she has 786 likes, and I have 704 likes. You
could have just said Xbox is cool and got more likes than that these days.
Yeah,
That's
maybe.
the weird thing, though, that you pointed out, like how they're focusing on employees, and they are focusing on employees, but that's completely outside their purview. Like that's nothing to do with even if those employees were strapped to a cross and whipped daily, if the deal went through, they would have to disregard that because that's not their job. Their job's to focus on competition, but they keep bringing up like employees as well. So like,
they're not worried about competition. They're worried about a political agenda with big tech companies. But her tweet says corporations sometimes try to convince the FTC to back off from blocking an illegal deal by making ESG commitments or swearing to use their power for whatever they view as the greater good. And that tweet, like she tries to call this thing an illegal deal. And I would love to have one of those YouTube lawyers on here, dealer, to explain to us how this isn't your run-of-the-mill illegal deal.
I mean, it's pretty common sense. It's not illegal because nothing's been proven or ruled down.
I mean, do they have Vin Diesel like driving this deal across, the borders? I don't know what's illegal about it.
There's nothing illegal about it. And what she's doing is using her power, quote unquote, to do as she sees fit.
Good.
So, yeah, the greater good in her eyes, right? So, again, Shooter, he says, hey, dealers out here, Colt, Target, Risk It. Hope you guys had a great Christmas. I don't know if we got that one. And then we already got Space Dova Kings. Eater, shout out to you.
Yeah, we got that.
Remember?
One. I got Nano, and then I got Sir X-Men. I got all those. The ones after that, I just didn't see Yadani's.
Okay. And
then I got the other ones at the bottom.
Gotcha.
So we got Splendiferous. He says, "Your boy Slim Ryan eats soggy Cheetos and loves RDX." What the fuck?
He's part of that 10%.
Yeah, that's Tim Dog shit. We got Fire Z71. He says, "Eastwood and Dealer, let's go."
Shit.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Then we got Red Wolf. He put a 3-month Game Pass code on there.
Red Wolf.
That's probably gone in like 6
That
seconds.
shit better be
And
real,
not even-
Red Wolf. I'm hearing rumblings of frauds. Go ahead.
Shit.
Is that it?
That's all of them.
Wait, is
that's
the code Xbox has no games written in Leet speak? 'Cause I think he's done that one before.
It's like Xbox has no games.
That's what it is.
2023.
That's what it is. That's what the code is. Xbox has no games.
Is it really?
Mm. Oh, God. And that's why I always ask when people win these codes to post who won them in the chat. I did forget last show.
That.
But don't enter Xbox has no games into the Microsoft Store. You'll only get access to their entire library.
Of nothing.
Of nothing. Yeah. Just grew by 0%.
Yeah. Okay. So you did get mics here. I don't remember hearing you say Zucker.
Yeah, I got mics.
Okay, I didn't hear that. All right, I just want to make sure. Thanks, Red Wolf, though, for the fake chat and the text and whatnot. And then we got Mackay. He says her power is not over 9,000. I agree. The scouter would not explode off of your head, Mackay. It would stay there and just tell you something less than that. But we do have to move forward. We're going to talk about Redfall. There's someone called Kami Games. I don't know who this is. Colt, are you familiar? You like Twitter?
Yeah. Shut up. Yeah, I know who he is.
Is it how legitimate? First off, internal delays. For one, every single game probably is like, oh shit, we should probably go back a week or 2 weeks or a month or forward a fucking week without releasing a release date publicly. That's why I don't really care for internal delays, because it's just negative bullshit that we don't even know if it's really true or not. That doesn't really serve a purpose except for to just be some kind of concern. But according to Akami Games, they have internally pushed back the game, and I think I was told May 2nd. So I don't know if that's true, but what are your thoughts on this internal delay on Redfall?
My very first reaction is probably true. But, the Arcane team is really ramped up sharing things on Twitter and putting out trailers on the channel. Like, they've been very vocal about the game. Well, compared to the rest of Xbox Studios, they've been talking a lot. Actually, for any game, they've been doing a pretty good amount of communication about their game. And if it's supposed to come out, like, is there going to be like a closed beta, or is it just going to be ready to rock with the multiplayer, the cooperative servers? I don't know. But my first reaction is, if there is smoke saying that the game was, they're trying to hit March and they need May, I am first to believe it, knowing how things have been going the past 3 years.
Yeah.
That's my take on it.
It's apparently a just 6 weeks or so pushback. But again, Nine Lives, you're right. Nine Lives in the chat says, how can a game get delayed and there's no release date? I get it was worth reporting, apparently, though, that internally they thought they might come out earlier than what they are currently probably maybe going to come out at with May.
Well,
We
I would say
assume
that
this is also happening with Forza and Starfield.
Mhm.
I would say they had like a kind of a pseudo release date, right? Like the
Yeah.
E3 said by the next 12 months we're going to get these games. So to me, the reason why this came out is because they might not hit that 12 months. So if it gets delayed to May, that means we might they've never announced the date. They might need 2 months, which we're having an Xbox show come up soon, which that's a topic. Jeff Grubb has confirmed it. We have an Xbox show coming up, and who knows? Maybe they, in the next month or two, are like, we need more time. We're not going to meet that May. And then they have to come out in July or August. That's the way I look at it. So I think of it as, yes, they didn't say an exact date, but they did give a time frame of when all these games should come out, and that is in the next 6 months. So I feel like it's one of those things that they might not meet that. And so that's why it's coming out publicly, and they're putting it out there just like, right before E3, right? Well, no. I mean, right before 2 to 3 weeks before E3, Starfield and Redfall were delayed for this year, right? Before the show comes out, they're having all these rumors of a delay.
They can't do that again. They cannot do that again. If they delay Starfield and Redfall past that 12 months date, which may make sense, if they do that again, man, the community will turn hard on them. Anyone that's got half a brain, anyway, because how many times are you going to promise something, or give specific release dates and then delay things like that? Now people say it, like, you can say, yeah, they haven't given a release date, but they have. It's within the 12 months. They've really not given us much of what they promised within that 12 months, and we're 6 months gone.
Yeah.
And we're still not hearing about release dates. We're still not, like, what is going on? I don't believe it. I don't think it releases past June. But if it does, man, they are going to really...
It's already May. With this delay, it's already in May. So that's... they're already, like... According to this...
But at this point, it's starting to feel... At this point, it's starting to feel like... We know none of the games have been canceled, like Starfield, Redfall, Forza, all these things. Like, they're not canceled games. No. But it starts to feel like, are these games ever going to come out? Or are you going to delay them? And then when you get 2 months before we think they're going to delay or release, there's another internal delay. Like, I don't know. I sort of felt that way about Cyberpunk for a little bit. And I hate when people bring up that game over and over. But, you're like, it just keeps getting delayed. It's like, is this game ever going to come out? And there are only a few games that this happens to, but when I look at, no one's looked closely at Xbox's like catalog of upcoming games closer than I have, like obsessively, like trying to figure out when these games are actually going to release from the studios they bought 4 years ago. And then it gets to this point, like if someone's like, or, like Fonz was saying, Starfield's probably going to release in like August or November because it's got to release after Redfall, but that's not a rule. Yeah. If Redfall needs more time, that means Starfield ends up coming out before it. And I've tried to explain to people, but I still sit here as a major Xbox fan going, when are these games coming out? Because it's not like Xbox has no games. It's like, where are they? Mm-hmm. Right, Zucker? We've talked about this a lot lately.
In the forests of something else.
We've talked about it.
I got to be clear real quick, though. The game they've given a release date for, and I say game because there's only one, is Starfield. It got delayed. I'm not going to criticize them for releasing an actual finished product. I can't go against it, but I will also sit here and simultaneously bitch about not having shit from them. So it's just, you got to live with that that duality. You got to find a balance.
Mhm.
If they don't come out within the 12 months, I already said I don't think Starfield was coming out in that 12 months back when they said it. Who knows? Like, there are rumblings that they could. But either way, I just want the games to be done so I can bitch until they're done. But they need to be out, or I'll just bitch until they're done because I want them to be done.
That's that one game that like everyone seems to be kind of okay. Like at this point with Starfield, you're right. Like games should release completely finished. Like, and we don't see that very often, right? These days, it seems to be like an epidemic. Like, let's just release it and get it out there, right? So I completely agree that if it's not ready, it should be delayed. But it's that one game that I'm going to be super like, and I'm not even that super hyped for Starfield, but I'm going to be pissed just because of everything that's happened around it. Like, you gave us a release date. Then you followed it, you delayed it. Then you followed up with a show that said, hey, we are going to have this out in the next 12 months. That's what we're doing. And then if you delay that again, there's a lot of people saying, look, I'd rather a delay, and that's okay. You know, the game needs to be fit. But that's egregious. That's absolutely egregious. That's something that I'll jump up and down about, like on Twitter. No one will listen, but I'll do it. But like that. How could you do that? Like, you know, continually make these missteps where you're promising stuff. I mean, we complain they don't talk enough, and we complain they talk too much. Really, at the end of the day, Xbox can't do anything right. What they could do fucking right is release some games. Like, if they could just release a game, I think everyone would shut the fuck up, and everyone would be happy. Like, right? Just one. Give us one.
Exactly. And I was telling, I told several people this past week, but everybody starts to freak out, you know, like kind of like they were doing now over the past week or two. But before E3, they're like, why aren't they saying nothing? Why aren't they doing nothing? Well, yeah, it's fucking right around E3 time. But this year we haven't had anything that's released literally the whole back half of the year, with the exception of the Pentiment, which is, I'm sure, getting ray tracing any time now. Quality game, but you know, we're not running to it to play. It's not for a lot of us, and that's okay. That's kind of the magic of Game Pass. They got a little bit of something for everybody. For the most part. Yeah, I mean, we just haven't had shit to play this fall. So it's going to be a little bit different than the past years, because I don't remember a year where we literally had nothing.
No. There's always something, usually one AAA, right? So the other thing I could think of, and I think it is really just they needed time, that's fine. But the other thing I could think of, Colt, when we were talking to Matt Booty, is maybe it's just alignment, right? They were thinking they put it in March, and there's other games that are coming in March, and they're like, do we want to, like, because Resident Evil 4 is coming in March as well, right? And the remake, and so it kind of fits in that arena, right? So maybe they're like, maybe we should move it out of there. There's also Wolong coming, which is one of their games. There's Jedi Survivor coming, right? And then maybe they're like, maybe we just move it out of that. Maybe move it to a month where it's not as bad. Right now, as far as May, the big games we have are Zelda and Suicide Squad. So if they come up early enough, you know, there's really nothing kind of announced at early May right now. It could just be that. It may not be that. It may be more like
I think it's more to do with what they're building. I think it's more to do with what they're building it on. I think it's the Unreal Engine 5, which Redfall is on Unreal Engine 5, and a lot of developers need help on it. Because right now, even with Fortnite, if you play Fortnite on console, no matter, you see the frame drops. Huh? There are massive. I know multiple people that are like, it's unplayable. I need to restart.
What?
It. And
Oh,
I mean,
there'll be hitches like when you
glitch.
first drop.
No, but they still need to restart it and stuff like that. Like even on, like, you know, the update's great. Like it's.
I mean, but there's games on all engines that do that shit. It's just a fucking technical.
Well, I'm just saying, like the game. It's just 5.1 is probably new. They're probably getting shit ready, right? Like that's it's really good. It's a good update. But again, developers aren't going to be like, all right, let's hit the ground running. They might need more time with the new, like, you know, software behind it. That's just me. That's what I think it might be. At the end of the day, especially because Arcane, this is their first time working on it.
Yeah.
Everything else was on the offshoot of id Tech, and they moved away from that on this game and went to Unreal Engine 5.
I think they used.
I mean, you're right.
CryEngine.
He's right. On the other side of the coin, like when it comes to releasing games, Xbox really needs to release these new IPs that are coming, like top notch, and prove that stupid quality narrative is wrong. Because what we've been hearing for I don't know how long, since 2018, that Game Pass can't produce quality games.
But those are idiots, Risky. Like those, I mean, there's literally nothing. There's no shred of proof at all, especially considering they won the highest rated publisher of last year. Collectively, right? I mean,
exactly.
That's just
more.
morons.
I mean, That's coming up in the FTC and in the CMA documents as well. So and Sony are making it clear that we can't have a subscription service like Game Pass because it'll affect our quality. When they do release, they really need to kind of follow that up with like it needs to be a quality release. Insofar as technically, whether you think it's a good game or not a good game, subjective, but like technically, they need to be pretty solid.
Yeah, they're fuck faces, all of them.
Yeah, love the Sony bullshit.
Game Pass didn't. PlayStation Days Gone was a fucking 71. They got so many games like that. I like Days Gone, but by their own logic, it's a piece of shit, right?
Knack? Anybody? Knack?
Yeah,
remember Knack? They even made Knack too.
And they will drop more like that, and they've dropped more probably than anyone else, right? So people just go off of that Crackdown 3 kind of era, right? Colt. So Sea of Thieves came out pretty low rated. It's higher and better now. But there are a few, but it's the exception, not the rule. They don't bring up Horizon 4, 5, Ori, all these other games that are in the 80s. I mean, it's a little ridiculous to live in that world.
It's the Twitter world.
It's the moron world on Twitter. It's a little sectioned off little cubicle with coloring books and shit in the corner, and that's where those people need to stay. Dark CMF, by the way, says Colt is obsessed. He is probably wearing his green shirt. Colt, are you wearing a green shirt right now?
But that green jacket, that ugly green jacket.
He says,
nope, not today. But I'll wear it another time for Dark.
All right, well, just send that to him on Twitter at DarkCMF.
Right.
Hit the like button, chat, he says, and RDX 2020. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate you, seriously. If you're watching live, hit the like button. Tell a buddy we're live. We appreciate it. We're going over the similar shit as the last time, kind of, but with different stuff, kind of. A little. There's been some. It's a very accurate. You find out Jim Ryan's telling people Game Pass needs shit behind the scenes, publicly crying. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully that's under public record, and they could just use that as Exhibit F, Exhibit L,
Exhibit L.
Well, it's also since we're on that topic, let's just go to the next one, which is basically Microsoft confirming that Sony's been blocking multiple games from coming to Xbox.
Yep.
It seems like so. I don't know if everybody remembers Randall Thor's leak that he thought Final Fantasy VII Remake was coming last year or some shit like that. But Final Fantasy VII Remake not coming. Final Fantasy 16 not coming. Silent Hill 2 not coming, and will never come to Xbox. Despite the publishers being silent about it, Microsoft has also listed stuff like Bloodborne. That it's not supposed to come out on any other platform other than PlayStation. So those PC ports might not be happening.
But those games, but the gamers though.
Yeah, I mean, aren't you supposed to be protecting the consumer?
Yep.
Stupid. But yeah, that's what's happening. So we are not gonna, as Xbox gamers, you are not gonna get these games.
That's Microsoft saying that. That's officially being confirmed by Microsoft.
That's being confirmed by Microsoft themselves.
Are you saying that they're taking games away from people?
I mean,
what franchise
does that? This is crazy.
Even an established franchise like Final Fantasy, I think Final Fantasy VII will come to Xbox in about 2 or 3 years when all 3 parts are out and have had a year buffer on PlayStation. So we'll see Final Fantasy VII, but I think if Microsoft's correct, Final Fantasy 16 will never come to Xbox ever. And then at the same time, those same Sony guys are crying, or the Sony only fans, as I call them, they're crying that Elder Scrolls might not come to their PlayStation. They're like, you can't take away games on an established franchise from, give me just freaking hypocrites, man.
Yep.
This is the same thing that's going on. And I guess you have to have exclusives, and Xbox should be proud to have something unique to their platforms and to their Game Pass service. And I think they should be spending money in that direction to try and get people drawn to their platform, because still the Xbox Series S and X are hot commodities right now, but they're still being outpaced by the PS5.
Yep.
Oh, and guess what else I heard?
But the chip shortages.
Apparently, Sony will not allow retailers any regular PS5 consoles. They will only supply them with God of War Ragnarok bundled consoles with an extra
that's
controller.
Been going on
and
for
that counts as a
8-9
sale
months
for Ragnarok as well, by the way.
Yep.
So they
You
can
get
say
two
Ragnarok
stones
sold
at
20
once
million.
with that.
They did that with Horizon as well. So
Yep.
they swapped out Horizon with God of War. But yeah, they have been locking it everywhere. It's basically you have to buy it with the game.
That's all they'll send to retailers so they can push those. And I mean, they don't need help selling the console, but man, they're sure getting those games and extra controllers, so they got more revenue coming in. And
they know that, hey, people are buying every one of these we can make right now, and we can basically make them pay more, whether they want God of War or not, and count it as a sale and then brag to our shareholders about how well the game did. Which, Microsoft have done that, with the exception of not selling consoles outside of that, right? This is pretty much the only way you can get a PS5, which makes it a little different. In my opinion.
What they're selling for over here? Those bundles sell for $1,150.
Jesus.
That is nuts.
Why?
It's just craziness. And it looked like on God of War, like it sold consoles. That's the thing. Like, when you talk about exclusives, and people are bitching about Xbox getting exclusives because it's not okay for them, right? But they sell consoles. Exclusives do. You can't deny it. I saw 3 PlayStations got sold the day God of War came out. I went to pick my copy up. There was 3 dudes standing there with PlayStation God of War bundles. They do sell consoles. This is what it's about.
Well, I mean, it sells a console because that's the only way they can buy it. Risk it.
Well, they will buy the console too. But my thing is, what happened to? Well, you don't need a PS5. You can play it on PS4, right? But these guys were saying it about Xbox games, right? Xbox One. Why are they still doing that? It's almost like they just want to get better graphics and shit, huh?
It's weird.
Yeah, you don't need to buy it there. You can play it on a PS4, but you want that better shit. Everybody does. Either way, Zucker, they did come out and say that Final Fantasy and several other games getting blocked by PlayStation, and that's after Jim Ryan cried about how, Microsoft would do that, etc. Just the hypocrisy. It really does. That's why Dee was so pissed that week when he went on that fucking rant, because he thinks about this hypocrisy of it all.
It's a lot of hypocrisy, and they are locking a lot of stuff down. And a lot of people, a person in the chat was like, Sony published Bloodborne. Why would it come to Xbox? That's not what anybody's saying. They're saying that it's not going to even come to PC because of them locking it down, that it only is going to be on a PlayStation platform. So a lot of people that were hoping that Bloodborne comes to PC, it's looking like it's not. I hope it does, and I hope this is all wrong. But yeah, that's what's happening, is that they're locking stuff down. Now, of course, they're more lenient, and they've been bringing a lot more stuff out on other platforms like PC. But when it comes to anything else, it's not coming there. The only person that they have is Destiny or Bungie that's going to stay multi-platform. That's it. Oh, and MLB The Show. So there you go. And that's because MLB, they don't own MLB. The MLB does, and they're like, fuck you, we're putting it everywhere where we want. And you just make the game. Your studio's alive and functioning because of us. So there you go. So that's what's going to be happening, and a lot of more of this shit's probably going to come out, and it's going to be hardcore.
Yeah. What is it, John? Hey, shout out to John and Lone Wolf and Ashtray, who said Matt Damon, and then we've also got Hectic World. Shout out to you, buddy, as well as Spooky Sprocket. It's been a minute since seeing you in the chat, brother. Mr. Bushido, who's this Risk It guy? He's in the chat. Nano Polymath. We got a lot of guys in the chat. Thanks for watching. Over 1,000 people watching, guys. Hit the like button. Tell everybody see we're live as we do move forward. But yeah, Xbox. I guess actually no. Did we get it? Hargeet, everyone talk about this fuck you on locking this shit down topic?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing really more to say. It's really disappointing, right? So it's fine for like new IPs and stuff like that, right? Hey, you're gonna work with a partner and maybe own the IP with them and something like that. Fine, okay, I get it. But established franchises that are on other platforms and you suddenly take those away, taking an entire FF16 is just gonna be never coming to another platform. That's pretty, horrible, right? But well, that's what they're doing, I guess.
It's on the publisher too, right?
It is. But as we know, Square needs money.
Yeah, they do.
So they're taking as much as they can.
They're like, fuck, help us.
I guess one of the interesting things with this is, there was and I don't know if it's false advertising, there was a sticker on the box for Final Fantasy VII Remake, right? That said it was a 1-year timed exclusive and that it would be available on other platforms on April.
It even had a date.
Right, yeah.
It said until April 2018 or 19, whatever that number was.
2021 or something, whatever it was, right? I think it was a couple of years ago. Yeah, so I could they be sued for that? I mean, isn't that false advertising? So I don't know. That's an interesting potential question and legal headache that they have to run into. Obviously, at some point, they decided we're going to make it permanent. So Sony went and gave them some more money. But
That's a good point, though. That's a good point because didn't they just changed the name of the game to Stellar Blade because they had advertised it on Xbox and now it's a PlayStation exclusive, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
That's
There
another one they
must
bought.
be
Was
a
that,
legal reason.
Project Eve or something like that? Was that what that was?
Yeah, it's now Stellar
Yeah.
Blade.
It was
or-
supposed to come on all platforms, and then they made that exclusive. I mean, I guess that's a new IP. It's a new whatever. It's a deal. Fine, they did that. It's too bad Microsoft doesn't do that as much, but but anyway, yeah, it is kind of disappointing. This permanent one is really weird. Even if it was like 10 years, okay, that's something, but permanent, like that's just odd. So
Yeah.
that mean like if PlayStation fails and Square Enix is still around, that they could never put that game on another platform. It is permanently locked to one platform.
Got to go back to 1986 to play it.
That's just so crazy.
Mhm.
Like
I'm sure there's more details that would allow them some flexibility there. If we PlayStation die, then you can put it on something else that's not Xbox. I'm sure they have at least one other platform in there, but again, the fact that it's happening, and I got a message from somebody on Xbox Live about this, it really is becoming a problem to where people are really noticing all of these different games they're making exclusive deals with, and don't get it twisted. A lot of people in the chat, a lot of people on Twitter would be championing the same thing if it were the other way around, and depending on the deals, depending on if they actually paid to make the game, that's the big thing for me. If they paid to fund the game, that's entirely different than what Nintendo did with Monster Hunter, or Capcom it was. With Monster Hunter, I think it was, where they literally just paid to lock it down to a platform for that game. Nintendo did. They didn't fund the game. They literally paid them not to give it to other people. That's different. And I guess maybe you could skew it to say, well, they are in a way paying for it, but they're not. They wouldn't have been created without being funded in the first place, right? So
right.
I don't know. There's some thin lines there. But either way, let us know your thoughts, guys. We do have to move forward. Did you guys see this tweet? I want to run this by. I don't know. Ah, crap. The screenshot that was sent to me, it's cut off, but somebody from an exile was talking about their project coming up, their secret project, or was that something that wasn't? You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that did. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they put something up publicly. Like they can't talk about it, but they
Okay.
they
So-
were excited about a milestone being reached or something along those
Wasn't
lines.
that quite an old tweet though that got brought up recently? Hargy, I thought we were talking about that.
It was. They said it was a great way to end 2022.
Yeah,
Okay.
something like that. Yeah.
So
Like they reached a milestone before the
with
the
no
break
games?
and stuff. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, honestly, this whole
listen,
this whole,
I'm gonna read
looking
what it
forward to
says first, right? That's why I say I don't know who it's from because that got cut off, but it's an employee there, and they're saying that they're saying that their progress on the whole secret project thing kicked a whole new bunch of ass. Basically, it was a great way to end 2022. I mean, what do you think they're going to show? Are they going to show something from this soon? Maybe.
hate it when-
you know?
Don't you hate it when they do that shit though? It's like, hey, we
I'll
got
get in
something.
June,
We
maybe.
can't tell you what it is. We're
Well,
not gonna
I mean,
show
it's
you
better
what
than
it
that
is,
though.
mate.
It's they deliver something unbelievably compelling.
if this ends up at the show that's rumored to be, then I would probably be excited about this. But I don't know, man. If they're saying that, hey, we've got a trailer together, we got some gameplay together, and we're going to see it soon, then I mean, Aaron Greenberg did say we're going to see something soon, so that would be cool. But it just makes, what is it like?
Yeah.
The toilets, the new toilets are in, or like
I'm pretty sure this is a game. But yeah,
They're only
it's their
a year or two into
hashtag secret project, and they kicked a whole lot of ass at the end of the year, and they've delivered something unbelievably compelling. And I want to know what that is. What is that in Exile? Because that's interesting to me. It was a great year to end. It was a great way to end the year. So maybe we see something at the little show, Colt Eastwood.
Yeah, well, I mean, they've been working on Project Cobalt for not even 2 years, I think, because they launched Wasteland in 2020, Wasteland 3, and then they've been working on this supposed first-person RPG steampunk game, as far as what we think it is, for not even 2 years. So, like Matt Booty said in the summer, he's like, if I had to gauge how exciting something was by how many people are working on it, basically like 100 people working in Exile. He's like, he was so amazed that they showed him 20 minutes of footage of their game and showcase like what they had in the works. And he said he was most impressed with how small the team was and how much they'd accomplished in a short amount of time. But our guess would be maybe a year and a half. I don't know, Dealer, if you're following the Project Cobalt stuff that Jez Corden leaked from his data mining, but I think it was September of 21, so it has only been barely over a year and a half.
Since that information,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say other than I wish they would show something, but at this point, some of my rants and raves that I've done on my show and other shows is that at this point, Xbox talked about all these studios and all these games over the past couple of years, and they're going to need to push their studios hard to show in-engine images or in-engine flyovers at the very least, and show proof of life that these games really do exist. Because
it's for the regulators. That's why they're not showing you a picture.
my problem is they're big tentpole games. I don't know what they look like. I don't know what Perfect Dark looks like. I don't know what Fable looks like. I don't know what In Exile's game looks like. I don't know what
Joanna might have a mustache now. You never know.
Hopefully. I don't know what Fable looks like, right? I have no idea what Fable looks like. And it's gotten to the point where they've talked about these games for so long. They started concepting Fable in 2018, but it's just taken them so long to get to the job. Like, I just want proof of life, what these games are, where they're at. And it just feels like they're in limbo.
Yeah.
I mean, don't you guys feel like that, chat, sometimes?
I feel like they need to.
You've talked about this real quick. Forza Motorsport. They're promoting the new one by showing you screenshots of a 5-year-old Forza Motorsport 7. Why? We've seen 10 minutes of in-engine real shit. The game was being played right there. It wasn't CG. Tim Duck thought it was CG for some reason. And why the fuck can't you just take a picture of a few cars and show Forza Motorsport? We know it's coming in the 12 months, quote unquote, or anywhere near. It was a good. You told me about it.
Even if it's on the same track they already shown, you know, like go in there, get a car, line up some type of day on the track, take a couple screenshots, and watch the internet blow up. Like, there's no generated hype. Well, first of all, there's no generated hype for the games because they're not talking about them. But it kind of gets to the point where I'm like, these games are still coming out this year, right? You know, in 2023. I sort of feel like that I feel like an informed fan at this point, but I still feel so many. We've 2 weeks ago we all did our rants on. You did them on this show, and I did them on mine, but I'm still really excited, and 2023 is going to be bigger than ever. I mean, they think they have 6 to 8 first-party games, and they have a bunch of Game Pass huge games dropping. But I'm like, just give us an update on those games you showed in 2020.
Yeah,
it's been a solid 2 years.
Honestly, I'm a little sick of them just fucking saying this, like secret this, secret that. Like one of the things on here that we have as a topic, we can just mold it in together, is that there's this secret project that's going to take 10 years or a decade to develop. And it's like, shut the fuck up. Don't bring them up. Like, just don't even, like, honestly, don't even fucking talk about them because you've been talking about all these other games. We're still waiting to even see gameplay on games you announced in 2020. We're going on 3 years here. So I don't want to hear, like, I'm looking forward to what NXile is going to make. And I'm looking forward to what Obsidian. I think they're actually a very competent studio, both of them. I think they've released games on small budgets with minimal resources and have done a great job doing that. And I think when they get more resources, who knows what they can do with the leadership there. That's what I think of those studios. But I don't need you to say anything. I need you to show it, and I need you to release it. That's it. And the whole point of, like, I think Riskit said it, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Either Xbox isn't saying anything or they're saying too much. At the end of the day, like you said, if they just release games and talk about shit and bring it out, nobody's going to care how much you talk or how little you talk, because everybody here, including everybody in the chat, if they're a real gamer, they just want fucking games. It doesn't matter. And these things, like talking about them, like secret project, #secret, it's like, nobody cares. Just show us the game. Like, that's all. Like, if you had a cool milestone, celebrate internally with your with your team. That's fucking cool. I get that whole thing.
Zafka can't handle the tease. That's what he's trying to say.
It's not just a tease. There's too much teasing. At this point, we all got fucking blue balls and we're dying.
Yeah, I mean, I know what you're saying.
It's time to fuck.
I'm with you. Like, what is that? What does it even mean? What does that even mean? I don't want to hear about it.
I'm sorry, we're so negative chat right now, some of us.
Exactly like you said. So I completely agree, man. Like, you've shown us shit in 2020. You had to show us what's coming for the new console so you could sell it. It made sense. I get it. That's all good. You haven't given us that shit. Shut the fuck up about everything else that's coming, right? Just give us what you've shown us, and then we'll go from there. Like, that would be perfect. So, look, I actually got to bail out in about 5 minutes, but But with this show that's coming up, I think this is the perfect opportunity to shut everyone, like any one of us that are whinging about it. And I copped a bit of flack about that whole show, like, because I wasn't as negative as everyone else was. But I do think they should have been there. It was a massive misstep for them not to be there. And if the resulting backlash gives us a show, because I really don't think they had one planned, but if it gives us a show, like, oh, that's all worth it. And this is the time at this show to show us what is coming. Give us some release dates. Tell us what's happening. And then I think all that goodwill that you've still got rolling, I don't think it's gone, but you've got all that goodwill, you can just carry on with that until you start dropping games. But don't give us a release date and don't give us teasers and then delay shit. Like, just, I'd rather they shut the fuck up about everything until they start dropping games. I completely agree with you.
That's the nip it in the bud right there. Because if they have games and they've dropped games, people are playing games, they can delay shit and people don't give a fuck. Like, believe it or not, they don't care nearly as much. It's just all kind of focused in. But I want to give you a chance to at least do your outro, man. I know you got to head out here a little bit early, but tell people where they can find you, man. And what have you been playing, Riskit?
Absolutely. I've been playing Death's Door. Love that game. I'm not going to rattle on about, but I am loving it, man. If you guys haven't played it, Pete was telling me, Jedi Knight Peter was telling me, play the game. I ignored him for about 6 months, but he was right. You're right, Pete. Publicly said that you were right just one time. You can find me you can find me over on the YouTube channel under Risk It for the Biscuit. Just look that up. It's spelled Biscuit, Biskit. You can find me on Twitter, warring with someone, anyone, everyone. Under Risk It 4TB. And guys, man, thanks for having me on the show. Like, I really had a great time. Like, I enjoy watching every week, but it's a hell of a new experience and an awesome experience to get to jump on and talk with you guys directly. So
we appreciate you. We appreciate you. We talk on Xbox here and there, and we appreciate you for coming on, man.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Big shout out to Yodani, my bad. He says Sony might be Team Blue, but Xbox is Team Blue Balls. You've been teasing me for so long, I'm about to keel over. Hey, you're Donnie, hang in there, man. You know, I'm sure, I don't know. Fuck. I mean, look, listen, they got an event at the beginning of this upcoming year. And they're going to give us the new delayed dates for everything. Now, I don't know what's going to be there.
I mean, they're not giving release dates until 3 months before, right?
Which it could be. Again, you got 6 months if they can hold their promise. I'm not saying they will, but they got to release the release dates within that window. They got to give us something at that show.
January, February, whenever the show is, if it's January, February, whatever, I think it's, I mean, hopefully, do they have a date? Did anybody leak a date? Because whatever, if it's January, February, I think that's going to set precedent of what the year is going to look like, because they want, usually Microsoft, if they have any bad news or good news, they kind of want to get in front of it. So I think this show is going to really show us what 2023 is going to be about. If they start dropping release dates like, hey, Forza's coming in March, and then Redfall's in, April, June, or May or whatever, and Starfield's June, then, hey, we're looking at something where the last 6 months we might get something else. If it's like May, August, and then Starfield's in November, they're just going to fucking talk about it here. They're going to talk about it at the show and give release dates, and I think what Brisket said is true, that I think a lot of people, because, I mean, we are content creators. We talk to a lot of people in the community. I know you guys see it. A lot of people are disappointed in a lot of like the release dates and the games, and they just want to see a little bit more positive news when it comes to Xbox. And it's up to Xbox to provide that positive news. So they need to do that. Not us, not gamers. It needs to be on the company.
Yeah, and Rob in the chat has a really good point too. He's talking about next year's games, and collectively, especially, next year is going to be a massive year. And that's why, I always say it always depends on what you're talking about. We're talking about first party. We definitely want to see first party. We love and are excited for a lot of those games. But either way, even if you hate all the first party games, 23 is looking like a far better year on this platform.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
it's on every platform.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm just
like
saying
games
because this year they had God of War and stuff. They had a pretty good year for PlayStation. So either way,
Jess Corden said tonight that what if Xbox drops Starfield, like stealth drops it at the E3 event? I don't know. I try to be realistic where Xbox doesn't want to put release dates down, but they have to meet that 12-month thing that we've all been complaining about ever since the summer event, right? So
yeah. Xbox,
if Starfield
don't ever do that again.
last,
Like Colt, you got to jump in on this with me. Don't ever sit there and tell people this is what we have for the next 12 months. Fuck off. That's what that show was, several months back.
Well, I mean, look at it now. I mean, we are halfway through that 12 months, and they haven't released anything other than Grounded and Pentiment. So,
And Grounded was already out.
let me just say this, even though I don't agree with it, is they made the right move because they didn't have jack crap for most of that 12 months that they promised. Now, at this point, I am like wondering, hey, are you going to get the rest of those games out that you showed us? Because they show 32 games in June. Are you going to get those other 30 games out before this coming June? And maybe this event is to say, hey, here's everything that's ready. You're going to see it in the next 6 months. We can't wait to show you more at E3. Wait for E3 and all that smack. But I think Starfield's going to drop before that 12-month thing is over. And in fact, like Todd Howard said before the event, we're in the polishing phase. They had already planned to do the delay. We heard rumors, we'll just keep it at that maybe that they were able to play the game internally to see what it needs for its final finishing stage. So I wouldn't be surprised if Starfield is set to come out in April or May or June. It's not that far-fetched, and we're not in that bad of a situation as we were last year. That sucked, and I'm really we've made our complaints, but I'm really super stoked for this upcoming year, even for just the Xbox. So even if I was only going to sit on Game Pass like Hargeet Chani, and the first-party stuff's pretty good. The global publishing stuff, there's a couple like RTS games that Zocker's excited about that I probably won't be as excited about, but there's something really good coming next year. And last year it was basically just 2 games, and one was in early access. So we've all done our whining, but they really have to deliver. That's what I want you to talk about, dealers.
Well,
if they do an event in January or beginning of February, like, what are they going to show? What are they going to? They have to have like one big thing to reveal.
I gotta give
instead of waiting for E3.
I gotta at least acknowledge people in the chat that don't feel the same way maybe we do. Go back and watch a showcase. I guarantee you might feel differently about it. Watch one before that, right? It's not about it's got to release in 12 months or it's going to be 6 years away. And shout out to Jarrett, listening to the show. He feels the opposite way, where he does like the 12-month, expectation that, this is going to be in 12 months. You're going to get everything. But again, you go through half of that, you've gotten nothing. You got none of that stuff that you were excited for. And then you got potential delays. You put them in a situation where they can't feel like they can, build a game out more or polish it or delay it. And then you've got, the opposite. Where, okay, maybe everything does hit in the next 6 months, but that was still half of that was fucking useless, right? So it's just kind of a pointless thing to lock yourself into, lock everybody around the brand into as well, because it's just been a different 6 months since they've said that. It just feels different for me personally. But
I'm starting to
go ahead.
I'm starting to debate those shows now. I'm starting to not review them in the beginning. I'm just gonna start fucking reviewing them like draft picks in sports, right? Like, you can't review them the day of. You got to give it a year to come out, right? Like, that's
no.
Like
the show wasn't good. I think I gave it a 6.
No, the show wasn't good. But I'm saying even the show before that, yeah, it was great. But when I look back at it, all those games that they talked about, like Contraband and all that, aren't out. So it diminishes the show to me.
But it didn't have a date
that's
there.
Just me. I know it didn't have a date, but at the end of the day, I want something there. Like, it had Starfield, right? It had Redfall.
Yeah.
It had all these
games
there
need a date. Some games need
to
show something.
Show something. So for me, I'm looking at the shows differently. I'm not going to review. I could give my thoughts on it right then. You can review the show, but overall, it can get diminished as time goes on.
Yeah, which has nothing to do with the show.
That's the 2020 show is, to me, highly diminished, because it's like, goddamn, we don't know anything. And it's like, at this point, if you told me back then, like, you wouldn't see a lick of gameplay until maybe not even 2023 of Fable, I would have called you fucking crazy. I'd be like, dude, there's no way.
Mikey
so
Barr comes
that's
out.
just me.
He ain't seen shit.
Yeah, you see. Yeah, so that's all I'm saying is that I want to see more stuff. Like, I get we're going to get this show, and Jeff Grubb even talked about the new show coming up for Xbox, saying that it will feature a low-budget game from Tango Gameworks. Like, so that makes me think, like, how big is this fucking show going to be, or how small is it going to be?
I mean,
is it going to be them sitting around a couch with
stuff that's coming out, right? I would
expect that, but I mean, are we going to be sitting around a couch with fucking donuts again? Like, and you're not going to show anything, and
what do we got against couches?
I mean, you remember that Gamescom.
Listen.
You remember that?
You remember
that?
This is a far cry from fucking Gamescom. Let's just calm down. Fucking fear mongering fraud.
You don't know, bitch. You don't know.
Hey, listen. If this is a games event, first off, we should acknowledge what we should acknowledge, which is there is an event early this upcoming year, and that's a good thing. Good job. I'm not going to bitch about a fucking event that we ain't heard officially from yet. And secondly, they've got to say something or do something or they're fucked because they got 6 months. So you got to tell us shit's delayed, rip the Band-Aid off, quit fucking around. You know, some people can't handle the teasing, or give us the information. Like, and I don't even want the show to go this way, but I mean, it's something that a lot of people are thinking, and they're frustrated, and it's good to acknowledge that because, you know, it's a very real thing. But on the other hand, I want to say, yeah, I'm excited to hear something from them, a show, whatever it is, and we'll see what's actually there before they start picking it apart. But I don't know, Zucker, I'm sorry, I can't go in on it, man.
I'm not going in on the show. I'm saying that I hope it's good. I hope they show some good stuff. But like
they did say Tango Games Work, smaller, what did he say? A lower budget type game. But their games traditionally that had massive budgets aren't really big budget games. Like Evil Within was kind of a weird.
Ghostwire, Evil Within 2. I know Evil Within and Evil Within 2. A lot of like people like those games.
Yeah, they're not bad.
And they're pretty quality. But like I want to see what the lower budget game is. Like,
we
what
don't
is it?
know
Maybe it is
the
something
budget
I
though
like.
either. I mean,
No, I'm not worried about that. I'm just saying that if this is just them announcing dates for the games that are supposed to come out in the next 6 months, I'm fucking cool with that. I'm down.
sure
Like,
it's more
give me
than
that.
that,
Give me that. I'm sure they'll have a couple surprises, which hopefully.
Yeah, I think
but
Zocker's
just
right. A
need
couple of things other than what you just said is probably what the event should be. Like at least one reveal, and then like that hi-fi rush will be the Tango Game Works will be one of the surprises. But you have to show something hot and then tell people to wait for June, right? I mean, it's just at this point, like we talked about the spreadsheet of all these games because 2023 is packed. And if you're finally going to release all these games, which they are in 2023, they have to be really careful because they're going to step all over each other. But I'm at the point as an Xbox fan, I'm like, hey, just release them all on the same day. Like, we've been waiting for a long time. At this point, I'm like, I'll deal with managing my own time. But I don't want Matt and the team to feel like anything should push into 2024 because they feel like it's so busy. It's like, at this point, you can afford to have a little bit of overlap. The platform has been making all these games. And let me just say this, okay? The effect we're feeling right now with the no games is the pure product of Xbox buying studios and those studios spending the past 3 or 4 years building games for PlayStation or for everybody else, right?
That's fair.
And it's absolutely fair. And, you know, people don't like to hear it, but they're like, where are the games? Like, where they bought all these studios? Like, yeah, Bethesda, Obsidian, Playground. Well, not Playground. All these
Double
studios
Fine,
have been making multi-platform games or exclusives for PlayStation.
they've been fulfilling contracts, yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Exactly.
And, you know, Phil explained that like they had to fill contractual obligations, and it really led to a kind of a 2-year dead zone, dealer, right? Where we're like, where are the games? Oh yeah, you know, they just did Wasteland. Oh yeah, they just did Psychonauts 2. They just did Outer Worlds, right? When they bought them, right? It just goes on and on. There's probably about 6 or 7 big games.
Yep.
We're happy few. For me, it's not even that. The thing I'm disappointed in is that I actually enjoy playing Xbox-made games. I like their games. I like Gears of War. I like Halo. I like the multiplayer aspect. Sea of Thieves. Grounded is something I'm gonna get into because I'm like, I probably will enjoy it. But for me, it's more I enjoy the games that Xbox makes. So yes, everybody's like, well, don't you have all these other games? It's like, yeah, I do, and I can play them. But I genuinely enjoy these games. I enjoy these first-party games, and I want them to come out because I like fucking playing them. I play them extensively. Like, look at Sea of Thieves. Like, I enjoy that. Like, for me, Xbox has been always very multiplayer-focused, obviously, and that's what I enjoy the most when I game. And so that's what I want. I want that from Xbox. And when they're not bringing that out, it kind of is annoying me because I'm like, God damn, man, like, this is why I'm this is why I like your ecosystem because of these games. So it's like when you're not providing that, like, then what the fuck are you providing?
Well, Colt liked Crackdown according to Nine Lives. Nine Lives be nice. You know, Crackdown, I reviewed that game and told people.
Crackdown was fine.
I like Crackdown too.
Did any of you tell people to fuck off in your review of Crackdown 3? No, you didn't.
Hey, others
I
said
reviewed
you had
Crackdown 3 and told people to fuck off if they got a
reviewed
problem with that because I actually liked, or at least enjoyed, the campaign for Crackdown 3.
The campaign was awesome.
It was fun.
And I think actually most people say that. It's just reviewers who are like, oh, it wasn't, Oscar worthy because it was cheesy. But, Nine Lives says, hey, well, you guys forgot about High on Life. I just finished the game a few days ago. It's great, but they just bought that game off a dying Stadia and they didn't make it. They didn't fund it, so to speak. As far as I know, High on Life's great.
It's still cool. It came to Game Pass and stuff,
Yeah.
Why you
it's
gotta be
great.
so toxic?
Yeah, so as far as
Say
Colt
something,
Starfield coming out as a just a shadow drop, that's a terrible idea. I don't know if that's ever happened where a major
You can't
AAA
shadow
game
drop
is
something
shadow
like that.
drop. You can do a small indie thing, that's fine. But good God, that game, no, you want to have like your marketing all ready to go. You want to
What
have it
marketing?
like plastered. Yeah, it's another problem, right? But they should absolutely be ready months at a time to get that thing everywhere, right? I can't imagine that being shadow dropped. They've
The
got
only
to.
game I can see shadow dropping or event that they should shadow drop is honestly the Game Awards because there's 100 million fucking people watching it. It's like, hey, this is out right now. Then maybe it could do well, but no, they've said multiple times. So has Phil that they want Starfield to be basically the most played game like in Bethesda's history.
Yeah,
Like
right.
they want it everywhere, cloud, right? Like console, PC, just fucking everywhere.
yeah, that will not.
And
be
and the
shadow
only
dropped.
way you're going to do that is not shadow dropping it. You're going to
Yeah.
maybe it's going to get maybe they're going to talk about it and then in a few months it'll be, ready to go, but who knows? Like they did with Fallout 4, where they talked about it 4.5, 5 months later it was out.
Yeah.
Like that's
yeah.
and that's probably what happened with Starfield. But no, I don't think it'll be a shadow drop. And if it is shadow drop, then holy shit, what the fuck's going on?
Well,
Right,
I mean,
like,
again,
damn.
like if it really is shadow dropped, the only thing you can really look at is does it perform, right? And again, you
Yeah.
get to a point with Netflix style kind of viral marketing, which is what Game Pass is benefiting from in its own form. I don't know if it would be super beneficial. Now, me as a fan, I want to see that shit everywhere. I want to see it all over the place. I want to see it in a commercial, some dude's car, a subway, a building. Fuck it. Spider-Man was on a building.
Yes.
Why not?
Mhm.
Microsoft have a lot of money. You want to see that they believe in what they're pushing, so much so that they put some of that money behind that, and you kind of feel good
Put a
about
banner
what
on
you've
the
invested
ISS.
in, right? Yeah. Put a banner on the ISS. I think that's what you said. But yeah, I mean, it's a good point though. They should be marketing this stuff, and we'll see
Yep.
if they do that. But they did just shadow drop High on Life, kind of basically in a way, because I didn't see one fucking ad for that game, and it was just out, and it's the most successful third-party Game Pass game ever.
And
yeah, unfortunately, that game launched really well with no marketing behind it, and it's just going to further reinforce that Xbox can just allow Game Pass to be their
You're
free
fear-mongering,
marketing.
Colt. Stop.
I literally said this last week, Colt. I was like, I think Colt's gonna agree with me on this, but that's just gonna give a precedent of them not needing.
mean-
they're like, "Look,
They
we don't
didn't
need-
market
I'm with
shit
Dealer.
that well before this. I think I said this last time you mentioned it. Like, they didn't market hardly ever before this shit.
I know, but this is just
I
gonna
know.
fucking reinforce that behavior.
Maybe, I don't know. But
I mean,
we could just I could just reach out to old Greenberg and be like, hey, put some pictures on a building. Come on. Do something, No, I know that's not Greenberg's department, but again, I don't know. Well, Hargy, we got to see some kind of ad for Starfield because Bethesda have a
Yep.
shit ton of time and money behind this game too.
Yeah, absolutely, it's one of their big headlining games too, right? And the other part is like that show that's coming. It 100% has to have Starfield. That's got to be the headliner, and it's got to tell us a date. I like at this point, you just have to tell us when the hell this thing's coming out. Otherwise, you're right. It's going to be delayed till freaking fall or next year, and I'm kind of done at that. Like you got to release it. Just release the damn game. So in that show, whatever February, end of January, February, that's got to be the headliner, and it's got to have a release date, and it's got to make the release date. So I just expect that at this point. We have one release date so far. It's a freaking port from a very old game, Age of Empires 2 is coming over to Xbox in January 31st or something like that. But that's all we have for release dates. They really need to kind of give us some release dates for games. It's getting pretty stupid.
I just saw this picture Risk get put over in the Discord. That's freaking toenails.
fucking toenails.
Yeah,
Jesus.
it's scarring.
That piece of shit, risk it.
Risk it. Shout out to him for coming on. Umbra's in the chat too. I don't know if he said he'd only be able to join us for like 20 minutes, so I figured I'd get him on during the full show. But I do want to move forward here. Zach, you want to catch us up while I find out where I'm at in my topics here? And again, shout out to everyone that's watched us live. Almost 1,100 people were here, and we do appreciate you. Hit the like button. Tell everybody too about the show. Go ahead.
Yeah, hold on. I think we have a lot. Fuck. So Cult is Obsessed, we got that one. Dark Sim, legitimately every single store I have been in during the last 2 weeks has signed saying PS5 in talk. PS5 in stock. They probably held them all for the holiday. That's what Dark CMF said. We got Hectic World for member for 29 months. He says pick one when it's ready, or complain if too early and needs work. You can't have both.
Yeah, you can.
Just release one on time when it's ready.
Yeah, just drop stuff when it's ready. But you're gonna have people bitching if they don't have other things that are along the way. That was kind of the point I was making earlier.
Yeah, or just announce a date and then have it ready for that date. Fuck me. So we have Killinitis. He says, is an Oreo a cookie or a biscuit?
It is a cookie biscuit.
It's
Nice work.
Yep. I like it. We got Jedi Knight Peter. With Monster Hunter, Atomic Heart, Wulong, Benedict Fox, Lies of P, replaced Arc 2, and Flintlock coming to Game Pass in 2023, are first-party games as important as they once were? Yes. Always.
Now, everyone's different. I don't speak for everybody. That's why I say if you're talking about first party, it's the principle and the fact that you love those IP and you want to play those fucking games. Of course, they should be dropping games no matter what. Even if you don't play them, they should be dropping those games and getting stuff out for the fans of the brand and in general, it's common sense. But also, you're right. Tons of great third-party stuff to play as well.
Yeah, but also, like I said earlier, I like the multiplayer games that Xbox provides. And most of those games you talked about, minus Monster Hunter and Arc 2, I think. Even Arc 2, I think, has a single-player more focus, is not the games I tend to go to. So,
what
yes,
about that Sea of Thieves killer?
It's weird that something like Arc 2 is supposed to come out in the next 6 months, and we haven't even seen a second of gameplay.
Because we know that developer's trash.
Well,
like,
you gotta be
fuck,
so
everybody's
factual.
been lied to like 3 times by these fucks. They're like, look at this great trailer. Then you go in the game, you're like, what the fuck is
It's on the Series X going,
Dude,
fucking
I
just
was
about to
at their
explode.
booth. I was in their booth at PAX, and they had like the final version of Ark Survival Evolves, something, Weenus Edition or whatever it was called. And it looked amazing on this monitor. Like, it looked like the most epic sci-fi adventure game. And I seriously went home and installed the game because Tim Dog loved it. And it was like,
It was like that
It was
No
so
Man's Sky
bad.
trailer with the. Yeah,
it was pretty bad.
Oh my
pretty
God.
bad. Pretty bad. It has No Man's Sky multiplayer though.
Oh, great. Yeah, I don't know.
Let me get through these because we have a shit ton. So we got Midnight. He says, thanks for another great year of content. No problem, man. Appreciate you. And he also became a new member. We got Red Wolf with probably another bullshit code, Batman trilogy. He says,
No, it's a
100.
real one.
It might be a real one. We don't know. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Red Wolf, you're on.
Take
you're on
all Red
suspect
Wolf's
list,
codes
bitch.
with a grain of asterisks
With-
next to it because
with
we don't know.
With a grain of ass cheeks. Then we got Splendiferous, member for 13 months. Dark CMF, you're right. My GameStop here in my town said they have PS5s, but they are only allowed to sell the God of War bundles right now. Ball scratching.
Ball scratching.
That's literally what he said.
Take a
Period. then
bath!
Ball scratch. Damn, you got eggs.
Nah,
We got
shout out
Eric-
to Splendiferous.
We got Eric83. Sony owns Bloodborne IP. Yeah, and so put it on PC. Stop being a bitch.
It's not going there.
I know it's not. We got
It didn't
Red
sell
Wolf.
enough to go anywhere and be ported.
You're such a piece of shit. I
I'm
don't-
serious. Go ahead.
Stop being toxic.
Just like Wolfenstein. We got Red Wolf. Thoughts
hate
on
you.
I know. Thoughts on the canceled time exclusivity of FF games. I wasn't sure if it was officially or official, but Microsoft seems to think it is blocked. If Microsoft thinks it's blocked, we're not getting it, dude.
Yeah, at least anytime soon. If Microsoft thinks it's blocked, that means they literally have not been told that it will be brought to Xbox.
Yeah. We got Highlander 001, member for six months. Merry Christmas, everyone. I would love to see Microsoft be consistent with releases starting in 2023 and maybe by smaller developers for support. They don't need for support. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say fuck just get any big, small, all of them because they won't need it as much in 2023, hopefully, but they certainly needed that support this year, which they really didn't have when it comes to deals, big deals, and more notable deals. But thank you very much, Highlander.
Yeah, so we got Dark CMF. For the record, nearly everything Sony released in 2022 was a PS5 launch title. Where was the uproar over the delays? Was God of War supposed to be a launch title?
We actually applaud
It was
delays for the most
2021.
part, like pretty much all of them. I think we said good, finish the game, make it complete. But I don't know. I don't
also
control what
had
the Sony fans
two.
complain over.
They also had 2 pretty damn good games, Dark CMF, during launch, which Spider-Man and Demon Souls. So there's
Yeah,
that shit
they
too.
made a pretty notable deal.
Yeah. So then we got Dark CMF again. High on Life was revealed in June, as was Pentiment.
Facts.
And they dropped it in December and November. Splendiferous, do you guys think they need to drop... Oh, shit. Do you guys think that it scrolled up? Do you guys think they need to drop first-party games in the same month as the third-party games in 2023? Because there are some really good games coming. I don't give a fuck about what's coming every month. Just drop the goddamn games.
Damn.
Everybody's like, well, you know, Hogwarts is... I don't give a fuck. I'll find time to play. Like,
Yeah,
drop it on the same day. I don't care. Like, just do it.
Gamers are notorious for buying a game when they're still in the middle of playing the one they waited for a year to play.
Yeah,
So
like,
just drop
Jesus.
them.
Why you got to make this about gamers?
Just drop the games. Don't care. I don't care when.
I mean, Twitter.
No,
Sorry.
people who watch Netflix
listen.
are notorious for watching more than one show at the same time.
Anybody that says they need to space out these releases, bitch, we had nothing this year. Don't space out anything.
Let's not get it twisted. No matter what your opinions are or mine, they're gonna space out the big ones because they want you to stay subscribed. We had certain shout out to a certain panel member, but hey, one game wasn't gonna hit and Game Pass was canceled, unfortunately. And we talked about that and we laughed about that all together. But again, that's something that happens, man. So they're gonna space out their bigger games. And they've even got an army of smaller games, apparently, that they'll be bringing and AA stuff like that with third-party support, hopefully. That's what I want in 2023. I expect what they should do.
So far, all I've seen
the
is the army of smaller games.
Yeah,
There's fucking big games in there. Let's get the generals out there.
Yeah.
You
like me only playing one game right now anyway.
Fortnite. Yodani says Xbox will... I'm playing High on Life, too. Yodani says Xbox will probably shadow drop toe-sucking simulator. God damn! I know who did. I know who did the voice work on that. It was Fonz.
He's like, oh yeah.
He's like, all right, now can you make Slurpee sounds? He's like, okay, that's easy.
Well, I've done this before.
Oh my gosh!
I think I've done this before.
Yikes!
Shout out to Fonz. Fonz has actually, if you guys missed it in the show, he's actually in a game, and that's awesome. So that's why we just turned that into a negative in the joke. But go ahead.
Yeah.
It was
let's see. We got William Make It. He says Game Pass is the perfect vehicle for shadow drops. I think for smaller games it is, but honestly, the best shadow drop.
Let's go.
Shut the fuck up.
All right. Thank you, Willie.
Right. So Gaming Forte says, "Miss you guys. Hope y'all have a great holiday. Xbox
Forte.
will bring us game at some point. Patience is wearing thin, but let's hope for the best. Love you. We miss you, Forte."
You're moving a little fast with the love you stuff, but yeah, we appreciate you, man.
Yeah. I mean, I feel wanted.
Slower.
We have High October. He says, "Can't wait for the Silent Hill remake on Xbox." Lol. He has a happy face at the end.
High October. Why you got to do that?
They're so excited for Bloober Studios now. I love that. But keep going, Zucker.
We got Gaz, who is a certified Sony fanboy now. It is confirmed. Jim Ryan for POTUS.
Listen, that's Gaz's
literally
hat.
what he said.
That's not Gaz. Gaz's hat does this sometimes. He gets on the keyboard and type shit. But shout out to Gaz, man. He's awesome. I don't care what anyone says. And everyone says things about everyone that's not true. And Gaz certainly loves feet.
I think Gaz is great. He just needs to work on his thumbnails a lot better.
Oh my!
Zucker says that knowing he has the worst thumbnails in the entire internet.
I will reach through this Ethernet cable and strangle you, Zucker.
Little hands come out the Ethernet cable.
Little baby hands.
Hashtag bad thumbnails. Shout out to Gaz though. He's awesome. Terrible. He can jump in here anytime he wants. He knows that, but he's a fuckface.
Yep. Gaz is dying.
Oh shit. Also shout out to 1,000 people listening to us banter and talk about this. I don't know. I'm kind of feeling like we could just skip these little ones I added. Like Digital Foundry are saying that, or they're suggesting that a Nintendo Switch mid-gen refresh or whatever the fuck could have been canceled internally.
You mean Xbox Ready's new report?
I feel like I smell like some pony shit.
Did Xbox Ready, that fucking dog shit manufacturing channel, did they really say that?
Xbox Series K coming in 2023, bro.
Oh my god. Yeah, I heard about that and how it was just made up bullshit and they didn't even mention it in the video. Shout out to them though. Corporate channels that don't even fucking play on the platform, and unfortunately some people fall for it. Hey, I think am I missing anything? I don't think I am. I think we can really skip over some of this shit. It's really not.
Yeah. No, that's pretty much
but
it.
But there is an event, and Jeff Grubb does suggest that there will be a smaller budgeted game. No idea what that can mean, but it could be there from Tango Gameworks, the creators of Evil Within and the guy that helped with he did Resident Evil 4, didn't he? Isn't that where he? I don't know. He's famous.
It's supposed to be a small portion of their team working on a spiritual successor of Jet Set Radio, but it's like a passion project from a very small portion
So
of the team.
Bleeding Edge.
Ask Gaz what he thinks. What's the big thing that he thinks they'll reveal at this early 2023 event? He's in the show.
What the I was just looking at chat. Jan.
Gaz, what do you think they're going to reveal? Bleeding Edge 2?
I think they're going to. Oh God, please don't.
Gaz did a bump and came on.
What the fuck?
I think it'll be. I think it'll be a conservative show. I think they'll just show off what because they need to show something because their games are supposed to come out, so they should have an event. Which I assume this is the event to release the release date. So that'd be good. Like getting a release date for
The dates.
all
What's
three
the
games.
dates of the release date reveals?
The dates for the release dates.
Yeah.
But yeah, the release dates are all three. I think that's it. And if they show you one extra little tidbit, that would be nice. Just tickle our balls before E3. It's just like,
Some people can't handle the teasing, Gaz. Did you miss the earlier part? I mean, come on.
Yeah, how much blue balls can you take, man?
But again, I just want to say,
fans.
Gaz is awesome, and people that take this shit too seriously and don't pay attention to everything else he said, or this goes for everyone in the community. There's so many people that like to jump on a sack and just ride and for free ride and just leave. Gaz is he's tired of it. It's
fine. No, it's okay. I'm making a source video. Don't say I'm tired of it. My vengeance depends on them continuing being pricks. So let
you
them
don't
be
need
pricks.
vengeance. There's no vengeance. Just keep doing what you're doing. And just,
vengeance.
hey, what I always tell you, as long
You're
as you're
wasting
being
your breath,
honest.
dealer. I've already given him the speech.
Listen,
it's not working.
I'm gonna do it better. Okay, I'm just saying, as long as you're being yourself and you're fucking being genuine, stay where you speak your mind. If you're not full of shit, then people keep track of that stuff.
Oh mate, you think I have time to give a shit about what other people think now? I just say what I want to say. I've pissed off everyone in the industry. No one Halo's blocked me. Phil Spencer's not gonna hug me. Fuck it. Who cares? It's fun. It's actually liberating to say what you want to say. Don't give a shit about anyone else.
So you were holding back?
What
the fuck? I thought you was. I thought you was OG.
When I started, Asa was like, "No, I mean, just you come out your show when you're not so shy." When our first event was here, I could barely talk. I was like, and my voice dropped. Remember?
You're like, I promise
that's
I'm
how
a
I started my
boy.
show.
Yeah.
Calling bullshit. I think you've been fucking planning this the whole time. I think you were trying to get in close with Colt.
I'm the Trojan pony.
You are.
Listen to me, Greenberg. Kazura is back. Not Kazuya.
Stupid idiots. Hey, show. I just want to do you a favor. I'm going to cut the show.
You mean Gojira?
I'm cutting the show off. I'm doing the entire chat a favor because we just can't have any of these anti-Xbox blasphemous going on here.
God
No.
damn, Gaz turned into Kanye real quick.
Hey, seriously though, shout out to everyone watching. Shout out to everyone who watched the show. Almost 1,100 tonight. We do appreciate you guys watching. I'm gonna mute these fuckers and let us know your thoughts on everything we talked about. And thanks for listening to us. Again, without you, there's no show. I say it. I've said it a ton over the past several years. It's true. And we are gonna go after some outros. So again, let us know your thoughts. Hit the like button and. Colt Eastwood, how about you tell people what you've been playing and where people can find you?
I'm on the last hour of Callisto Protocol. I finished High on Life earlier this week. Both games are really, really great. And we're playing a crap ton of Fortnite, and thank goodness my kids are really good at the game. They carry me sometimes, so I've been having a really good time. And I'll just be around. Just finished 3 days of Christmas, and it's good to be back with the RDX boys and make fun of Zocker. It's very therapeutic for me. I mean, we do this in party chat anyway. We just go at each other nonstop. But yeah.
Hey, shout out to
and shout out to Ray for crying when Gaz spoke. I really appreciate
Ray
that.
Allen.
Showing your emotions it's good. It's good to get that out.
He's hitting the bottom of the
Love
net.
it.
Shout out to Outbreak Gamers, the panel's fire, Gaz the Sauce. Shout out to you, man. And Gaz, thanks for jumping in here last minute, man. I wish you would have did it from the beginning or something. But
I didn't realize. Sorry, I was playing Callisto Protocol. Thank you so much for having me. And sorry, I was able briefly.
I'm just
That's
kidding.
it. That's
I'm just
what I
kidding,
used.
buddy. You did great, and you're awesome. Hey, mute your mic when you guys do that. Also, Hargy, what have you been playing, buddy, and where can people find you?
Yeah, so I've just finished the Danganronpas, and I've also finished the Halo Infinite campaign several times now with several different friends who hadn't played and finished that campaign. So I've been spending time on that. I'm about to finish Scarlet Nexus, and then I'll move on to the next one. So That's what I've been playing.
And you can find Hargeet on Twitter here soon. So keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah, no, not Twitter. Yeah, you can check both Gaz and I out at our website, GameOnDaily.com.
Yes.
And YouTube.com/GameOnDaily. So yeah, check us out.
And also,
Fuck that
Zalker.
pony site.
That's a good site. I have it on my quick saved speed dials. Zalker, what have you been playing and where can people find you?
You guys know where you can find me. Zalker7 on YouTube, Zalker7 on Twitter. I've been playing a fuck ton of Fortnite, unbelievably a lot, and Rocket League. I've been playing High on Life. I think about like 5-6 hours in that. Enjoying that, and I've actually been playing Midnight Suns on Steam, which is really cool. The combat's really great. Story's kind of like but the combat's really good and the gameplay's really good. So that is the saving grace of that game, and it's so good that it's just fun to play, and it looks really cool. The animations are cool. Everything about it's a lot of fun. But mainly Fortnite. I'm already, like I said, I'm already at like 100 on the battle pass, or like 105. I'm just having a good time with it. I like getting crowns and beating people, so it's good. I'm glad I got into another BR. It's outdoing Call of Duty for me now, Warzone wise. So yeah, that's everything, and I look forward to next week, and I look forward to playing some games that are releasing in the next 6 months, man. This next year is going to be insane, and Hogwarts is on the top of my list in February.
You're going to play with
that's
it.
Everything.
Don't you have a wand in real life or some weird shit?
What? No.
I think we all have a wand in real life, but wait a minute.
Hey,
What are we talking about?
Somebody said you had like a Harry Potter wand of some kind in real
Yeah,
life.
it's like Zalker's in his kitchen, like Lagardium, Langosero,
Virginium.
It's not Wingardium Leviosa. It's Wingardium Leviosa.
Oh, shit.
Oh, my
Linguini, Quintrini, or whatever you do.
Man.
You going to eat some Digicini Alfredo?
God.
Hey,
Expecto, go fuck yourself.
Hey, what? That's... Wait, you guys act like you're fucking shocked. Of course he eats it. Hey, guys,
Some young guy.
you can fuck. Okay. Now that's too far.
Hey, you need to yell at Papa Baco. He just got you kind of good. I mean, I'm gonna screenshot it, but you need to yell at him.
Do it.
He said, "Hi, my name's Dealer. I've been playing 2K and Fortnite because Xbox got no games."
Oh, shit. Shout out to Baco, man. He's one of the guys I run with occasionally, but he is less addicted to it than I am. So teach me your ways, sir. He's an old, wise man, apparently. But follow me here if you want, and also Twitter at @dealer_gaming, where I tweet every 2 weeks, and Xbox Live, best place to reach me, ii_dealer_ii. And as always, guys, thank you for watching. This is Fortnite, Unreal Engine 5.1, running the Series X, streamed to you at 1080p at a reduced bit rate of, 7,000 kilobytes or some megabytes, some shit. And yeah, still looks pretty good. And you can play as RoboCop. So yeah, add us, follow these guys, we're out.
Later, everybody.
I like turtles.
Yeah.